Happy Tuesday, three-man front originating from the Terrace here at Social Taco in the square next to City Hall in Homewood. Lance Roberts, Pat Smith, Conrad Van Order. Hope everyone is doing well on this cooler, albeit all relative to 101 outside. It's like 90 today. Sky full of sun, Pat.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it beats 103.
Yeah, any day of the week. Hope you'll join us. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. Hope to catch up with Mike Griffith from the AJC, DogNation.com. So much has happened since we last talked to you yesterday afternoon at 2 o'clock. We'll get a preview of East Carolina versus Bama. Also, Auburn on the practice field this morning. They had another viewing period, so we'll have an opportunity to talk to Caleb Jones from Auburn Undercover, Dimitri Ravenos in his normal spot at 1 o'clock. But we start, partner, with a big story that just will not go away. The LSU, the roster moves they're making, adding NFL players. It cannot be stopped, or can it? Well, last night the SEC released a bogus statement just telling everybody. They didn't come after LSU, but they just basically said that college athletes, not former professional athletes, have been the heart of the Southeastern Conference. Individuals who choose to leave college athletics, sign professional playing contracts, and complete professionally should not be then permitted to return to college competition. I mean, these are hollow words. It means absolutely nothing. Word came out this morning that the Big Ten is having a call later this afternoon in which they are expected, in which they will pass a rule in which you cannot add an NFL former player to a Big Ten roster. Now, also keep in mind that just because a league passes a rule, that does not absolve a conference from legal challenges. So just because you say, okay, well, it's against conference policy, well, that doesn't mean that somebody is not going to get an attorney, not going to sue. See Brendan Sorsby. That didn't turn out very well for him. But the point being is that this ridiculous statement that the SEC sent out last night has no bite whatsoever. It's hollow words. They're meeting today. And by the way, this meeting, I had a couple people this morning. So what the SEC's meeting about LSU, first off, this meeting they're having in downtown Birmingham, it's been scheduled for weeks. This is an AD meeting. And I was told the original design of this meeting had to do with the college football playoff, because the SEC is losing the behind-the-scenes battle for a 16 or 2014 playoff. And so they're actually having a conversation because they might have to acquiesce one day and go to the 2014 model. That's what this meeting was supposed to be about. Now, because of everything happening around college football and with LSU, that will be obviously a major topic of discussion.
Well, Pat, I know you do. I understand the outcry of college football fans and folks that are maybe there's a minority of LSU fans who don't like this, but most of them probably do. But as much as I want to point the finger at Lane Kiffin, and he's certainly been worthy of a lot of finger pointing here in the last, I guess you could say decade, but especially in his time there at LSU, I can't. He's not finessing a system. He's taking advantage of a broken system. And this is a byproduct of all of the brokenness that we have witnessed in intercollegiate athletics over the course of the last 5 years, and the absurdity that we have witnessed over the last, 12 months. And you can take it out even further than that. You're not going to have this next year. So I look at this as, you know what, we got to take our medicine, grin and bear it, unless somebody wants to step in and stop LSU from doing this. There's no sense in belly aching. Why are we going to just belly ache over this when we've seen what has transpired across college athletics, SEC, non-SEC, football, other sports?
Well,
That's where I am.
Yeah, and you're right, but I think the other part of this is that I believe personally this is what LSU is saying behind closed doors. LSU is saying, okay, here's the deal. The SEC can't pick and choose which court orders they're going to acknowledge, okay? Prime example, Diego Pavia. He got an extra year, right?
Yeah, he did.
Did the SEC pass a rule about that?
No.
No, okay. Trinidad Chambliss. Same thing.
No.
LSU, they're just saying, hey, look what we're trying to do. That fits within the framework, what you just mentioned, that's what they're going for. And so, if the SEC passes some type of resolution or say, hey, here's a new bylaw on the books. Once again, that doesn't mean that somebody is not going to get an attorney and go after the conference and
Right.
get another TRO. I mean, goes without saying. So,
well, my only my hesitation would be, so the Big Ten is going to bar NFL players from their turn, and obviously they're going to win the PR battle on this if this continues.
once again, why is the Big Ten the conference that is setting the tone
Right.
for all this? Why are we sitting here in Birmingham with our, sitting on our hands and not doing anything, and then releasing these hollow statements like we did last night? That's what I'm saying.
Big Ten does seem like they have a unified message, whereas we seem like we have a lot of infighting and factions, whether that's reality or not.
I mean, the LSU's given the middle finger to the SEC, and the first response from the league is begging Congress to save them. I mean, that's exactly what the SEC was doing.
And at this point, I guess that's what we're all hoping for. Let's get that thing voted on. I'm right there with you.
I mean, the question is whether they threaten LSU. I'm talking about the conference.
But do they threaten the SEC? This is where I was going with that. Sorry. Do they threaten the SEC when it comes to qualification criteria, college football playoff? Or do they try to hold hostage over that and say, look,
General Clark's been busy. He'll get to that.
Yeah, and does the college football playoff committee, do they take the same stance on that we mentioned they took on Bediako when they were asked if he was still a part of Alabama's team when March Madness, would they count the games he was a part of? How would that be figured in? And they said, we're just going to go with whatever the rankings say. So,
well, the question is whether if the SEC threatens LSU the way the Big 12 threatened Texas Tech and Sorsby, will LSU back off the way Texas Tech did? Because Texas Tech did. I mean, there was overwhelming pressure from the rest of the league. I just got a feeling the LSU is going to say no. Like, the player is going to follow suit. He's going to get another restraining order, this time against the Southeastern Conference. There's no indication that he wouldn't win. And then what's the SEC going to do towards LSU?
interesting.
Attorneys are going to make millions of dollars, just like the whole Texas Tech situation.
I don't know who Louisiana's version of Ken Paxton is, but I'm sure they're getting a phone call. I'm sure James Carville probably has some good attorney buddies that would love to help out.
So Tom Mars, the outstanding attorney, he posted on social media last night. He said, remember when the Big 12 sought a declaratory judgment in federal court to assert its right to enforce its own internal bylaws and issue sanctions based on their rules being protected by the First Amendment? Can't help but wonder whether the SEC has reached out to the lawyers at Sidley Austin, because Sidley Austin was the law firm that went to federal court and basically dared Texas Tech to try to fight the bylaws of the Big 12. And the Big 12 won. Texas Tech blinked, and they walked away. So then that's the question.
Is the rest of the conference, are they willing to get up in arms and form alliance against LSU? Does this turn into 1 versus 15?
Great question. It depends on how many other 15 schools are trying to do the same thing LSU did.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was a little bit different with Sorsby because obviously that was a morality thing. That wasn't an eligibility.
Well,
Come on, let's
he
just be
also
honest.
happened to be an elite quarterback. That was going to be the difference in wins.
I mean, LSU's rolling right now. Judge Ronald Johnson Robertson of the 19th District Court in Louisiana, which that's Baton Rouge, he granted R.J. Lewis an injunction yesterday so he can play this season for LSU basketball. He was signed a two-way deal in the NBA. He played for the Celtics. Now he's coming to play for Will Wade. And by the way, just to be official on this, I checked on it. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey did file a brief against his motion. So like Bediako, Greg Sankey filed a brief against R.J. Lewis playing for LSU. And look what happened. He's playing.
So Bediako just needed to find a better judge is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Nah.
So all the people across the country that were ridiculing Bediako in Alabama, judge shopping, Pat Forty, and all these higher than now attitudes in the college basketball intelligentsia. Oh, yeah, there's judge shopping. It's terrible. It's going to destroy the game.
There's all kinds of drama in Baton Rouge. I don't know how I missed the story where LSU had a Ukrainian basketball player that left the team because they signed a Russian basketball player.
Yeah, the LSU got the Israeli 7'3" guy.
I could see how that would be a deal there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
Kim, I love you, but come on.
I mean,
you got to see that one coming.
I mean, you're just sitting there and you're seeing win after win after win in the state of Louisiana, and you're just like going, man, if you're Joey Aguilar at Tennessee and Charles Bediako at Alabama, you're the only two people in America that's lost cases.
Really? Yes. You really are.
It's like, wow.
This wasn't meant to be.
Who are their attorneys? Are they still working? Good night. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on downtown Birmingham as the ADs and presidents are meeting here in Birmingham. We need Conrad to, like, go stand out front on the corner.
He did that for us one time, didn't he?
Yeah, he was looking. Was he looking for Brian Harsin? Was that what he was doing?
Yeah, I think he was looking for Brian Harsin to see if he was going through the back door of the league office. Was that on the COVID thing? What was that?
Well, let's see. I think we sent him down there for Harsin, and another time it was Jimbo Fisher. Remember?
Yep.
And Fisher like pulled up in his cowboy boots, like on the front door.
Yeah, he did.
Got out.
No, he had the SUV pulled up, like just ran up
but
on the curb.
I think Harsin came in the back way. Like
that's right.
He parked in the back deck that you have to have a key card to get into the SEC parking deck. That's what he did, and then he snuck in the back door. Yeah.
That's what he did at all the high schools he was recruiting.
Yeah.
They never knew he was there.
Yeah, never knew he was there. All right, what we're going to do, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, Mike Griffith from the AJC is going to join us. So we will obviously talk about Georgia's fall camp as we're getting very close to kickoff. We'll also ask Mike's opinion on everything that is going on with LSU, former NFL players coming back to the SEC. Will the SEC do anything? We will get into that next with Mike Griffith. It is 10:16 on the fly here. A little bit of change. Mike Griffith will join us at the bottom of the hour. We want to be able to have enough time with Mike, so he will join us coming up at 10:30. Text line and phone line is open. We can take some calls. Get your text messages over the next 13, 14 minutes. 205-834-9450.
He's tracking the NFL wire to see if any additional players have headed
Sure.
for Baton Rouge to join the LSU roster. Our friends at Noto Roofing, they put on the new roof at the Roberts House. You can you can trust them to take care of you when it comes to your roofing. And right now they're offering all our Jocks listeners free inspections. All you have to do is call 205-848-2299. But Noto Roofing, they're locally owned and operated. You're going to deal directly with the owners, Sammy and Matt Noto. Chris is their general superintendent, and when he comes out for the free inspection, he'll walk the roof. Anything that he finds, he will let you know. He could just tell you you're good to go. He's done that with a lot of our Jocks listeners, and they've reached out and said that he was great, but they have that peace of mind knowing that their roof is just fine. In our case, we had ours replaced. We couldn't be happier. They did everything they said they were going to do and more. It's Noto Roofing. Folks you can trust. NOTOroofing.com. That's Noto, N-O-T-O, or 205-848-2299. Always tell them Landrum from Jock sent you.
So also last night, LSU gets another commitment. This time, defensive lineman Xavier Harris. He committed to LSU. If you remember back, Harris ripped Lane Kiffin after the Sugar Bowl last year. He was talking about Ole Miss, and he was talking about Kiffin, and he says, we're going to show folks how a real head coach is supposed to be. That was after Pete Golding took over. He also said Kiffin's departure felt like a slap in the face, and he was especially upset upon hearing Kiffin was interested in joining the ESPN broadcast during the game. Harris fumed, quote, exactly, that's what Kiffin tried to. He tried to be a damn announcer, trying to be a troll. We're going to troll him. We got something for him. We're just trying to steal our shine. That's all he tried to do. That's all he's been trying to do, end of quote. And now he committed to the guy that he ripped.
Man, he's changed the heart.
Yeah, that's
Changed
what
the
happens when you get a contract.
He
You
started
deal.
he started viewing Lane Kiffin like Jesus views him.
Yeah,
That's
so
what he
Xavier Harris is now joining his former tight end teammate there at Ole Miss. So if you're just now tuning in, just a couple of headlines. The Big Ten is expected to have a conference call this afternoon. All indications from media reports is that they are going to ban former NFL players from being on Big Ten rosters. SEC presidents, ADs, they're meeting over the next 2 days in Birmingham. I was told that this meeting was scheduled weeks ago, and the topic of the conversation was about the college football playoff expansion, 16-24. But now, obviously, this has kind of reared its head. You saw the bogus statement from the SEC last night, so we'll see what happens.
So nothing coming out of the league office, but what we can report is that they're still firmly against 24 teams. Back to Eugene.
Yes, very much so. I had a text this morning, and it was so apropos from a friend of mine. He was talking about all this chaos and about trying to pass rules and regulations of the conferences. And he says, you know what? A red light governs the public better than any lawmaker, any AD, or head coach at this point in time in the United States. Hear, hear. I just thought that was an incredible line. A red light governs the public better than a lawmaker, any AD, or head coach at this point in time in the United States. Think about it, because we all go to a stoplight and we don't do anything. We follow it. But meanwhile, every rule that a lawmaker, a law will come up with, or an AD or a conference commissioner, you just go to court and fight it.
Yeah.
But that little red light right here at the corner.
By the way, this is an opportunity, and this was just something on my mind. Just as a PSA, when we have a traffic light that is out at an intersection, what are we doing as drivers? We're going to treat it as a four-way stop, right? Okay,
I do.
Four-way stop. Anybody who was unclear on that, was afraid to ask, that was free. Because there's some of you out there. I've seen you. I've been a part of that. One of you almost T-boned me the other day.
Well, and I tweeted this out this morning. I woke up this morning and I had so many text messages from people around the country that covers college football, and I of course I did not put the individual's name, but I got one of the texts and it says, "What the hell was that crap? Never thought I'd see the SEC let the tail wag the dog."
No?
That was the text I got from someone that doesn't cover the SEC. What the hell was that crap? Never thought I'd see the SEC let the tail wag the dog. I couldn't respond to that.
No,
I can't defend that.
When did this happen? Because it was like overnight. We didn't notice it, and then all of a sudden it was our new reality. And I understand that perception is reality, but the SEC does not seem like it has been as unified as it was in the past, where you had one voice and everybody was behind that voice. Does it to you?
No, and the reason why is because you have one school that's going to now probably go over $53 million on their roster, that being LSU. We know that Texas A&M is paying a lot of money for their roster. Everyone's trying to keep up with the Joneses. There is no limit. So
well, and relative to that school and what kind of money they're capable of, everybody's spending a fortune in the SEC. I'm sure whatever Mississippi State's spending, it's historic proportions just to keep up, just to try to get bowl eligible.
Yeah. Let's try to grab a call. Let's go to Cowboy. He joins us on three-man front. We'll talk to Mike Griffith at the bottom of the hour. Hey, Cowboy.
Good day, gentlemen. I want to give a shout-out to Mr. Cameron, who hit the game winner last night.
His phone cut out. Are you talking about the Little League World Series?
I am.
Yeah, Alabama was on the cusp of being eliminated last night, and they came from behind and got the big victory, so they live to see another day. They will play again this afternoon.
And they will be playing at 2 Central, and I am exactly 134 miles from Williamsport right now.
Yes.
So are you going to the game?
I'm going to Alabama today and Nicaragua tomorrow.
Hey, by the way, I was going to ask you, I was watching something last night, and I thought about you, Cowboy. Have you been on Lake Nicaragua? Have you been on that lake?
I've been to it. I've been on the shore.
Okay. Do you know the history of that?
It is.
No, I don't.
Yeah, back in the day, Cornelius Vanderbilt, who started Vanderbilt University, his idea was he was going to go. Is it the San Juan River that connects to Lake Nicaragua? Is that correct?
I really don't know.
Okay. On the Atlantic side, his idea was to take that river up to Lake Nicaragua, and then you could take a stagecoach just 12 miles and you would be to the Pacific. He wanted that to replace the Panama Isthmus, which ultimately became the Panama Canal. That was going to be the way to cut off, obviously, hours and days of travel to San Francisco. But it was Cornelius Vanderbilt that tried to get that going.
Yeah, and the government was all in because of the revenue it would have brought in, but I don't know why it fell apart.
Well, it's probably because he turned his efforts into building that gaudy mansion on the cliffs there in Newport.
Actually, what happened, Cowboy, they because of the rapids leading into Lake Nicaragua, that they had a couple of his steamships go down, and so they had to pretty much say, you know what, this is not going to be a very good idea, and they punted.
Well, I think there might be another way. I think it's, maybe I'm being wrong about this, but I think it's 50 miles across at the lowest point. I may be wrong about that distance, but they might still have it in the back of their minds that they've got a remote shot.
Well, I never knew that until I came across that recently. I was reading this story about it, and yeah, Cornelius Vanderbilt wanted to basically make Nicaragua the Panama Canal.
And the thing is, they have a lot of Chinese backing, and I don't know if China is looking to finance that or not. And I also don't know the legit.
I always assume that China money's behind it. There you go. Well, Cigar Cowboy, we appreciate you checking in. Safe travels, okay? 10-2. Head on a swivel. If you get tired, get out, stretch, coffee, jumping jacks, all right?
I got a $1:31 to go. It's no big deal.
All right. Thank you so much.
I'll touch base with you tomorrow and recap Alabama.
That sounds good. Hopefully, get them a win.
Love it.
Thank you. Thanks, Cowboy.
That's
Be
our
careful.
correspondent, Cigar Cowboy.
Absolutely.
Checking in from somewhere outside of Williamsport. What was he saying? Alabama. He's going to be in Alabama, and he's going to Nicaragua tomorrow?
I'm not sure. He's 132 miles away from Williamsport.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's just a lot there.
But he's heading south.
Yeah. I told you one of the best documentaries I ever saw. It was on PBS. It was the building of the Panama Canal. Pretty sure Ken Burns, he did it.
Yeah, I was right. It's the San Juan River.
Yeah, San Juan.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Look at that thing.
See, it goes from there all the way up to.
Does it flow like the Nile?
I'm not sure. See, that's the lake, and then there's 12 miles from there to there. So his idea was go up the river, get across the lake, stagecoach.
Well, and legend has it, it was
Pacific
not the tides that got his steamships. It was the sea monsters.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Maybe it was Diego Pavia.
It could have been Diego Pavia that did it.
Could have been. Who knows?
Anchor down. 205-834-9450. Our buddy Mike Griffith along in just a bit, and we will discuss all of the absurdity, what's happening, SEC office versus LSU.
Absolutely. If you got noticed cracks in your walls, uneven floors, moisture building up in your crawl space, don't wait until that small problem becomes a major expense. You need to contact the foundation and moisture protection experts at Deep South Construction Pros. Deep South is a family-owned company with Alabama roots specializing in foundation repair, waterproofing, crawl space encapsulation, moisture control. So whether it's wood rot, mold, settling, foundation problems, water intrusion, all those things, they can take care of it. DeepSouthConstructionPros.com. That is the website. Deep South Construction Pros, your home, their commitment. What sets them apart? Honest answers, fair pricing, and Southern hospitality on every job. They treat your home like it's their own because around here, reputation still matters. Get started today, DeepSouthConstructionPros.com.
Mike Griffith along to discuss what we're hearing out of the SEC concerning LSU and its newest additions, as well as the start of the college football season. All that and more. We're live from Social Taco and Home with Three-Man Front on a Tuesday on Jocks.
It is 10:33. We are live at Social Taco. Come on by and see us. The door's officially open at 11, but folks are already up here on the Taco Terrace. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. Joining us from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, also DogNation.com, Mike Griffith joins us here on the program. Mike, I hope you're doing well on this Tuesday. Before we talk a little Georgia football, I do want to get your impressions on what has transpired over the course of the last 48 hours in regards to the NFL players getting injunctions and now the potential coming back to play in the SEC.
I want to talk about that 48-second. That song is, I'm sorry, at some point that was good, but that song should never be played again for an intro. I mean, if it's like 1950, I mean, when is it, 1960 something? With all due respect, I request The Devil Went Down to Georgia or something more upbeat, because that does not get me excited to talk about football at
all right, wait, hold on, Conrad. Conrad, can we reboot this? Can we start over? Can you do that? Just tell me when you're ready. Hold on, Mike. We're going to do this proper because I want you fired up. I want you ready to go. So, Conrad, you just tell me when you're ready, and then we're going to just – all right.
Play I've Got a Keelan.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Conrad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it screams Georgia football. It screams SEC right here. Give me that fiddle. Come on.
Joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline from Atlanta, Georgia. Joining us where the Devil went down to Georgia some years ago, according to Charlie Daniels. Mike Griffith joins us on Three-Man Front. Mike, I hope you're well on this Tuesday.
Hey, Mike.
Oh, I'm doing great, guys. Ready to talk some football.
That was good. All right, so from now on, I promise, that will be your theme song coming on. Your thoughts on what's going on with this eligibility crisis in the SEC?
Well, I mean, in this case, the players do have a leg to stand on. I mean, this decision on 5 for 5 wasn't made until June 23rd, and they didn't have an opportunity to take this under consideration. So should it have been grandfathered in? Probably. I understand why it wasn't, but I understand why it should have been. But now the SEC has a decision to make, because they sort of have a precedent for interconference transfers in a second portal window, albeit there was only one portal window this year. But now it appears there could be a special exemption window, or will there be? How much control does the SEC have over this, number one? And number two, how much do they really want to have? Because to Lane Kiffin's point, if these players don't come to the SEC, they're going to another conference. And, oh, by the way, the SEC hasn't won a national championship since 2022. So do you really want these players going elsewhere? And I don't know that any of them are that super impactful, but I think they're impactful enough that this is a serious issue, and the SEC is going to have to sort this out.
Mike, what is the outcry, just based on what you're hearing behind the scenes of the other member institutions? Because I would think that some of them kind of look at their own situations and go, well, we kind of did something like this.
Precedent, it's a bad precedent, number one. Number two, if schools are at a limit, they're going to have to knock somebody out, right? I mean, somebody's going to be off scholarship. Somebody's going to lose an opportunity. And now I guess it's up to the individual coach if he wants to screw over guys that have been working out with a team since last January and thought they were somewhere on the depth chart, and now bringing in a player or two or three, and what does that do to team chemistry? But probably not as much as we think. It's turned into a dog eat dog. Everybody wants to eat, get their own deal. But it is bad optics. I think it's a bad precedent. I thought we'd been down this road before about professional athletes not returning to college, and it's going to be, the SEC presidents and chancellors are going to have to sort this out in terms of whether or not they want to try to, assert any power here, or do they have a leg to stand on? Could there be another, could there be more judges involved before this is over with? I mean, to me, it's just more evidence that collective bargaining is the only thing that's going to solve the ills of college sports. I know I've said on your show before that we were going to have more eligibility issues after talking to Tom Mars. I mean, that's the guy with all the answers. I don't know why the SEC or college football just doesn't hire him to come up with a solution, because he's the smartest guy in the room.
No doubt about it. I did want to ask you in regards to the eligibility. I think I read on your site, DogNation.com, that Georgia golfer Carter Laughlin has filed suit in Clark County against the NCAA in an effort to gain a fifth year of eligibility on the golf team. I am curious, is there anything in regards to the football aspect to that? I mean, we did read yesterday that a former Georgia safety, he's going to file a TRO. He's going to try to get in the transfer portal. Does that mean he's going to try to go elsewhere or come back to Georgia?
Yeah.
What can you tell us on that front from the Georgia Bulldog football perspective?
Yeah, there's nobody of impact. I mean, Nick Chubb didn't retire to come back and play for the Bulldogs. They don't have anybody. Cole Spear was a receiver that, blocked a punt against Alabama. There was some chatter about him. As you mentioned, Ja'Cory Thomas, the safety, he's talking about going in the portal, not talking about coming back to Georgia. So, there's nothing to worry about, guys. I mean, for Alabama fans holding their breath about October 10th, no one magical is going to appear for Georgia that's going to change your opinion about the October 10th game, in which Georgia's a 2.5-point favorite, which doesn't mean a lot when you consider they've been favored the last 6 times and they've only won twice against Alabama.
What was your reaction to Keelan Russell being named the starting QB?
That's what I thought. I mean, that's why he went there. That's the guy I thought was going to win it. That's what I was told. Talking to folks in the know, and it's not surprising. But hey, you got 2 good options there. It's a good problem for Alabama to have, and doesn't mean he's going to be the guy when they play Georgia. And it's not like Alabama hasn't brought a quarterback in off the bench to beat Georgia before. So, I think there's 2 really good quarterbacks there. I think there's a really good head coach there. I think that's going to be a really good football game. The teams are going to look different, than they do right now, which we're still waiting to see how they look right now. But from what we know or what we expect, I'm sure there's going to be some differences. And, look, there's always surprises when you have as much talent as Alabama and Georgia have. There's always guys that come, emerge, and these coaching staffs have proven, they do a really good job. I mean, I watched Kalen Dvorak coach Kirby Smart twice, and Georgia won, the SEC championship game, but that wasn't the same Alabama team they played in September.
Mike Griffith, AJC, DogNation.com, joins us every Tuesday here on Three Man Front. As far as the Georgia Fall Camp goes, has it been pretty much injury-free? No big injuries so far in camp? Everyone's coming unscathed so far?
Yeah, for the most part. The big injury was, Williams, the transfer from Auburn, they thought was going to, be an impact player at defensive end. And then you had the running back from Kentucky, that we thought would be an impact player as a short yardage guy. Big back, 225, and, he had a ATV incident back in Mississippi. So they've lost a couple of guys out of the portal they thought would be impact guys. But, everything else is on schedule. It's kind of gone like we thought it would go.
Is there any aspect, any level, whether offense, defensive side, that you look is, I know they're really, really good, Mike. They're expected to do well, but underwhelming maybe compared to the other positions?
The defense is good, at all 3 levels. The offensive line is exceptional. Gunnar Stockton, we'll see how he throws the ball downfield. He doesn't have the Zachariah Branch safety valve short pass anymore. I'm not blown away by their running backs. I've said that the whole off season. This is mediocre. To me, I'm not blown away by these guys. And I think I'll tell you, I've covered some great backs. All the way back to Sean Alexander and Jamal Lewis and Arian Foster and Le'Veon Bell. The places DeAndre Swift, the places I've been have had some really special guys. So I've probably been pretty spoiled. I thought James Cook was pretty good too, but I don't think much. I think their running backs are pretty ordinary. Now they got an outstanding offensive line though. I'll just say that again, double down on that. They're going to move some people off the ball, and defensively they're really good at the line of scrimmage too. Receivers, I don't know. We'll wait and see. But again, I don't know. Georgia, that's not really been an elite position. They put some guys in the league. But I don't know that Georgia's really known for their wide receivers. They're good enough. Tight ends, they're pretty special. But I would say I think they're just kind of okay at receiver and running back.
Mike, I'm not asking you to tell us, unless you want to, who you think as of this moment on the 25th of August how many and who from the SEC will represent themselves in the college football playoff. But I've seen anywhere from 3 to 5 schools potentially in all these preseason magazines. What number is the home run for you in regards to how many SEC teams will make the CFP?
I mean, I think 4 is kind of the right number. I mean, 4 out of 12, 33%, right? I mean, that'd be pretty good, I would think. So, I don't know. I mean, off the top of my head, you're thinking, maybe, Texas, Georgia, Alabama come to mind first. Does LSU make it? I don't know. It depends on what they do against Ole Miss, I guess. So I'd say maybe LSU or Ole Miss, winner of that game, Texas, Alabama, Georgia. Am I missing anybody obvious there? I mean, those are the 4 schools that come to mind.
Did you mention
first.
Texas A&M?
You know what? Texas A&M. How many? What a bunch of underachievers. Honest to God. I mean, they've been in the conference from 2012.
Correct.
They haven't even played an SEC championship. I mean, South Carolina and Missouri have played it.
They did bring us Bucky's.
Missouri have played them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just. I mean, obviously, they're that forgettable. I mean, I literally forgot them. That tells you everything you need to know. It's right there with, Kentucky, a state you just kind of fly over unless it's basketball season. You don't really think about it. You think about Mississippi State because of how bad, but Kentucky and Texas A&M, they just don't matter. And when it comes to football, say, oh yeah, I heard Kentucky's got a good team this year. Really? Think they might go to a bowl? Oh, I mean, wow, that's a great year. What bowl they got? I don't know, but they're, the basketball coach said, it said something about it at the press conference today. It's just in Texas A&M with all that money, just.
I see what you're doing here, Coach, and you're not fooling me, Mike. I know exactly what Mike's doing. This is how we get back on top in the SEC as a conference, because right now he's having hard conversations that nobody wants to have. But you know what? This is how we get better.
It is?
Keep on, Mike. Preach.
Is talking about Texas A&M didn't realize they're in the conference?
Yes, historic underachievers.
Well, they are. But look, all this talking I've done about Auburn Stadium, and if you blow up that team picture, you'll still see that crappy-looking outside facade.
Yep.
They haven't done anything about it. It's
still dirt.
Terrible.
There's still dirt. Yeah.
Listen,
rust.
Most high schools I go to look cleaner than the outside of Auburn Stadium. Seriously, and is that not a testament? I mean, is that somebody's job? Somebody's job is to make – because I'm telling you, I remember pulling up to that stadium in 1993 when I got hired to be the Auburn beat writer. And all I could think about is what a football paradise this was and the way that stadium was popping back then. I mean, somebody needs to have a little pride in this.
Come on,
Seriously.
Cohen. Get somebody on the pressure washer.
It's not that hard.
No. Scissor lifts and just a bunch of water. Let's do it. Mike, I'm behind you in this campaign, whatever kind of support you need to get this cleanup done.
Well, I mean, he's been talking about it for 3 years, and Auburn hasn't done anything.
Well, they bought us an extra week because Cohen moved the game to Atlanta.
That's true.
So we have an extra week to get ready.
That's very true.
And there you go. Well, with all that extra money, well, actually, the players are getting that money. I mean, what a brilliant move by Peach Bowl Inc. and Auburn to find a way to get the players extra money, because they're basically going to split the gate up that Auburn was going to get. They're going to turn that into NIL money for the players.
No, it's smart. I hate it as a season ticket holder if I'm one of those, but, yeah, good opportunity.
I mean, did you ever think you'd see the day where Auburn would be selling games away from Jordan? It is where college football is at, though. I mean, Georgia obviously does it, with the Florida game every year. And
shame on college. And shame on college football that we have to do this.
Well, yeah, but you say that, but if you don't come up with this revenue here, are you cutting somebody's jobs out somewhere else? You know what? Maybe that's what happened. Maybe Auburn had a guy that used to pressure wash the stadium, and they had to cut his job
to
pay all this NIL money.
Because they're paying some fourth string guy that never goes and works out. They're paying him an just fathomable number to be on that roster.
That's the theory that I'm going to go with, because I really don't like throwing Auburn under the bus. Yeah, because I've got him in my top 25.
Yeah, no, we
I'm
know.
one of those
Hey, we went over that last week. Yeah, it's documented. You've got them in your top 25.
It's still a beautiful place on game day.
Yeah.
Mike's got 8 teams in his top 25 from
10.
the SEC.
I thought. Isn't it 10 from the SEC?
Did you have 10? Really? I thought it was 8.
I thought I did.
Did you have Texas A&M, or did you forget that or did you think they were like a Southwest Conference?
Mike's our SEC propaganda guy.
Yes.
I did have, yes, the A&M is in the top. Yes, I did have A&M ranked, and I had obviously Auburn 25 and Florida.
What do you think about Florida?
The other school I had in the top 20. I think
Florida.
Really good.
Okay.
I think that Florida Auburn game.
Yes.
That's going to be a game. I can't wait for that game.
No, it's going to be a good one.
Wow.
Be really good.
Yeah.
Mike, as always, we appreciate you hopping on with us. I look forward to chatting next Tuesday. As, man, we are here. Kickoff is right around the corner. Always appreciate your time, man.
Go listen to some Ray Charles.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Mike. That's Mike Griffith. He joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Higginbotham is your one source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. More three-man front live from Social Taco on Jocks. We're back here live at Social Taco. Pat Smith, Landrum Roberts, Conrad Van Order with you until 2 o'clock. Come on by and see us. Some new listeners stopping by. It's their first ever appearance here at Social Taco. We'll be gentle, I promise. Come on by and see us. It's always fun here. Want to shout out to BB. Hopefully she's listening in her hospital room. She had surgery yesterday. It was successful. So hopefully BB will be back on her feet here at Social Tacos. So we just want to a little shout out to BB as she is recovering from surgery. Also want to tell you about the great people at Abide Roofing, 205-577-7338. That is the number. A few years ago, I noticed that I had some leaking in my kitchen, and I said, oh, no, that's going to be a problem. So I called Travis Lloyd at Abide Roofing. He came by the house. He got on top of my roof, and unfortunately, he found some loose shingles. He found a problem leading into my attic, which obviously was leading to leaking in my kitchen. He said, hey, don't worry about it. We'll get with your insurance company, which he did. They're the insurance claim masters over at Abide Roofing. And then he got on the roof with the adjuster. My insurance company was kind of giving me a hard time, to be honest with you. But you know what? Travis was representing me, and he was on the roof for over 2 hours with someone from Montgomery who drove up just to assess what was going on with my roof. And at the end of it, I was able to get a brand new roof thanks to Travis and, of course, his advocacy towards my insurance company. And the work was just tremendous. The communication was flawless. And, man, I've never been more pleased with anything that I have done since I built my house some time ago is the roof that Travis Lloyd put on my house. And I have the peace of mind of knowing, even with heavy rains, heavy wind, hail, doesn't matter. I know that I'm protected by Travis Lloyd and Abide Roofing. You should, too. Get the peace of mind and call them today. 205-577-7338. It's abideroof.com.
Well, coming up, it's going to feel like game week, college football season. Voice of the East Carolina Pirates going to be joining us. Also got some great recommendations, Pat, going back to our conversation about the Panama Canal.
Great.
And different podcasts. One is I would recommend would be History That Doesn't Suck. I don't know if you've ever heard that one, but
I have not.
Yep, it's very, very good. We appreciate all of your texts, your phone calls. Welcome in the next hour as well. 205-834-9450. The Tuesday fun rolls on. Social Taco here in Homewood on your home for college football and so much more. Jocks.